Uh-oh, so what we got going on with academics, man? Academics is in trouble. Uh-oh, let's see what we got going on.
So think of it as like a TV ad with a catalog component where I can choose on the Roku app and immediately
YouTube chicks. Get ready. You know what to do, chicks.
Listen, Chick Smooth. Hey, Chick Smooth, appreciate all the coverage that you've been doing. I've been watching your shit for a while. I just subscribed to your shit too, bro.
Oh man, you guys, what is going on out here these days? Looks like we might be back in the early 2000s where rappers were actually pressing media personalities. Now, this one is a little bit strange, you guys. A couple days ago, DJ Akademiks went to the NBA Youngboy show that was in Newark, New Jersey. Now, shout out to Newark, shout out to Eastwick, shout out to the whole Garden State. While Akademiks was enjoying the show, he noticed Jim Jones was also in attendance. If you guys don't know, Jim Jones and Birdman are actually very cool. These guys are super tapped in. Birdman actually pulled up to Jim Jones's hood in Harlem just to kick it with him.
Nah, I love you, sweetheart. You dig what I'm saying? That's right. Yeah, I'm out here with my blood. Outside, in Harlem. OBD. Happy.
As soon as I saw this video, I said to myself, there's no doubt that Jim Jones will be at the concert tonight. Now, Akademiks actually walks up to Jim Jones to go have a conversation, which I will personally say is the first mistake. If you're in media and you do not know a rapper, especially if you're somebody like Akademiks, you gotta know that some of these rappers are not as friendly as they may seem online. And also, especially if you're cool with my ops. Unfortunately for Akademiks, Jim was not in the mood to have a conversation with him. Here's what happened.
I was walking quickly to get to Birdman, but right behind Birdman was Jim Jones. Jim Jones had brought his mom. I didn't even realize he brought his mom. Like Mama Jones, he brought his mom. So I'm walking mad quickly. But I ain't gonna lie to you, I think the way Jim seen it was like I'm walking up on him. I swear. Like, cause I'm walking mad quick. And so I see Birdman and I see Jim Jones. And I'm like, oh shit, Jim, what up? Now let me tell you the history with me and Jim. I don't know if in history. I did an interview with Kanye West. Kanye West said he gave Jim Jones $2 million and he was mad that Jim Jones couldn't make him a PDF. Okay, that went viral. Jim was trying to get some buzz at the time. Jim, I don't know how, like through an intermediary, hits me to say, yo, I want to do an interview responding to Ye. It never happened, but while I set it up, Jim says to me, yo, we should probably get on the phone, because, I just want to make sure we good, right? That happens with mad artist chat. Like, sometimes the artists want to talk to you before getting on set with you, because they don't know if you about to just ask them some federal shit or whatever. So that's valid with me. So that's the last thing I know about anything with me and Jim Jones, right? Cool. So now, so when I see Jim Jones, I'm like, oh, Jim, what up? And Jim, what up back at me is a different type of what up. He's like, nigga, what up? And I'm like, whoa. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if it's how I walked up. Anyway, that happened. I'm like, damn. I'm like, first of all, I'm gonna give Jim his credit. Jim was the oldest YN in the building, but he was on YN timing. I'm gonna keep it a bean. I ain't no liar. Jim, I just Googled his age, Jim 49. Jim was the oldest YN up in the building there, but he was on YN timing. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you can tell. Jim
Jones is definitely an old YN. Facts. Jim Jones is definitely an old YN. I will agree with Akademiks on that. He definitely is an old YN.
And I said to myself, I said, maybe it's because of Youngboy concert. Everybody a little bit aggressive here. Cool. So anyway, all right. So that happened. So I'm like, again, I'm thinking he's cool. Even though the walk-up was a little crazy, right? But I was starting to think like, oh shit, he probably thought I was like walking up on him. So let me just have a regular conversation with him. So I go over to say, yo, Jim, we gotta get up and we gotta go do the interview. That's what I'm like, we gotta go do the interview. And I ain't gonna lie to you, I don't know if it's because Youngboy was on stage. Jim Jones turned to a YN on me. I swear. Jim Jones was like, yo, hold on, let me holler at you, man. Let me holler at you. And the nigga just started to be a little bit more fidget. I'm like, is he okay now? Jim is like, yo, listen, man, I gotta talk to you. I'm like, all right, what up, what's good? He's like, yo. Now, he was taking a second to kind of get out his point, but this was his point. And I was trying to he kept asking questions like, yo, do y'all think the shit y'all do online is cool? So I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm kind of confused, honestly. I'm legit confused. And I know some people are going to be like, no, Ak, you're playing dumb. But I'm kind of confused because I'm also trying to figure out what it could be, right? And I didn't get too much info out of him. But he mentioned 6ix9ine. He said, whatever, 6ix9ine. Then he's like, yo, y'all got to know, it ain't safe when niggas just playing with me like that. And I'm thinking about, I'm like, what the fuck do I? So I kept trying to ask him, I said, what me and 6ix9ine got to do with you? Or what I got to do with if you and 6ix9ine got something? I got to think it's this video, right? Because I don't think he's been talking about it recently. Or it might just be overall that 6ix9ine told. Now, again, and I know I'm trying to battle the people who are going to be in the comments like, Ak, you're playing dumb. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure.
Dumb.
It's not what I've done. It's like, nigga, that's your man, 6ix9ine. And you post this shit, and nigga, we don't fuck with that nigga. Now, the only thing, and I guess my response to Jim is, listen, there's a couple things. In that moment, I could see why Jim's career is where it is. If that's the approach you take with niggas, like that super tough, like that felt like some 90s shit, right? Like some, I'm like super gangster, right? I can see why in moments like that, people have those interactions with you and they're like, I'm good off you. Because in reality, if you're not a hot musician, niggas don't got to deal with you. After that handshake, And even like the energy, I could have just said, I'm just leave him over there, nigga. I thought we could have had a conversation. He just wasn't trying to have a conversation. So he was just like, yo, man, I ain't trying to have no conversation. He's like, listen, man, just enjoy the show. Just enjoy the show. And I'm like, okay. Then he's like, yo, he said something like, yo, and if anybody got a problem with me, they can let me know. I'm like,
style starts with the details. The difference between mid and next level, a real gold.
all right.
Now, I think in addition to Akademiks posting 6ix9ine talking crazy about Jim Jones, Jim is also pissed off at certain things Akademiks has been saying about him over the last couple of months. When Jim was going at it with Nas, Akademiks said Jim Jones was out of his mind. He was basically clowning Jim Jones for trying to...
See, one thing I hate about niggas like Akademiks, they talk all this shit, and then when they get pressed, they act stupid. And when somebody respond back to the bullshit that he says, they act stupid. Like, I hate niggas like Akademiks, man. They talk all this shit. They initiate the drama. Akademiks is the one that talks about everybody. So when then Jim Jones responds back, he wants to play victim. It's one thing to talk about the news, and there's a difference between talking about the news and talking about what's going on into disrespecting, running with narratives, running with propaganda. And that's all what DJ Akademiks do. But then he wanted to play victim when niggas feel a certain type of way about him. And he just falls back on, well, I'm a social media personality. This is what I'm supposed to do. Nah, you're supposed to cover hip hop. You ain't supposed to create it. You talk about stuff that I do. You don't run with narratives. You don't run with all this propaganda stuff. You don't have to disrespect. You can talk about it without the disrespect. But then when Akademiks gets disrespectful and he gets checked, now he want to play dumb. I don't know what happened. I didn't do nothing. Nigga. You know what you did.
compare himself to Nas.
I don't know how this Jim Jones Nas thing even really kicked up, but Jim Jones has been comparing himself to Nas. He claimed he had more Billboard entries than Nas, a flat out lie, right? He was almost claiming like his catalog is better than Nas, a flat out lie. And now he's claiming that because he mentioned Nas, he got Nas the most viral publicity Nas has ever received. Another flat out lie. Like, I like Jim Jones. Like, you always gotta love a passionate liar, right? Like, this guy's he's just lying left and right, but he's passionate about these lies.
And let's not forget, just last week when Jim Jones announced a podcast with Fab, Mano, and Dave East, Akademiks criticized the move and basically tried to call him broke for starting a podcast.
If you told me that Fabulous, Jim Jones, Mano, and Dave East, if you told me that they were together, I'd be like, oh my God, they're making like some type of four-way greatest New York rapper things. Shit, they're gonna sell some shit, go on tour. Bruh, there's no more money in music. Unless like you're YB, unless you're like the Drakes. There's no money for the middle order guys. It is.
So if you're somebody like Jim Jones and you hear Akademiks just criticizing you, constantly shitting on you and talking negatively about you, and on top of that, you go on Instagram and he's posting your op just trash talking you, yeah, you're definitely gonna feel some kind of way when you see him in person. If you ask me, I think Birdman is the only person that can mediate things between these two, and that's only if both parties want to.
I'm sure there was I should have just played Akademiks version because he got a longer version of it too. But this is just Chig's version of it. But it seemed like DJ Akademiks got pressed and got checked at the concert. You know what? I'm gonna play DJ Akademiks' longer version and do a reaction to that too. But y'all leave a comment down below, man. How do you feel about this situation with Jim Jones and Akademiks? Do you feel like Jim Jones has a reason to be upset at Akademiks, or do y'all think Akademiks is innocent? He's just doing his job. Y'all leave a comment down below. It's your boy Dandy signing out.